Metcalf Mama. So as I mentioned in my very first rather awkward short video, that I would be doing some videos about what you might want to do or what you might be trying to do, but maybe you don't know how, or maybe you don't have the confidence. And basic life stuff sometimes requires no confidence at all. And it's totally okay to just take a stab at it and do something that maybe you think you fail at and find out that you don't fail at it. So today we're going to be working on my pantry organization. And basically how I do that is I take everything out and then I reconfigure it or put it back for how it's going to best suit me. It's not fancy. I don't go out and buy special bins or special containers. I don't make it look Pinterest pretty. It's just a basic working pantry because that's what my pantry is. I am a 40-something homemaker. I am happily married and I have a teenage son, and my life is a little bit busy. So I need things that are going to work for me and things where I'm not going to get all caught up in the perfection of it all. So what's coming to follow, I just wanted to do like a little intro to the video that's coming to follow and why I decided to start this channel, because I think there's a lot of us out there that get caught up in making everything perfect and having to do everything right. And we don't have to do everything right. We can just do what's going to work for us. And if it works for us and it makes us happy and it makes our families happier because we're not so stressed out, then that means that the job is done. And if you're not a mom or you're not a parent or you're not a homemaker and you're just moving out on your own and you don't really know what to do or how to do that because maybe you were never shown, or maybe you just weren't paying attention when you were shown, that's what this channel is for as well. This is just daily life stuff, tips and tricks of being a normal person that has flaws and doesn't do things fancy but does things functional. So here's the video on the pantry. Hi everybody. So today I decided that I was going to completely clean out and reorganize my pantry so that way it'll be so much more easy, so much more efficient, and let me show you kind of what I've been doing. So this is the mess and disaster that's been created by me deciding that I need less mess and disaster and chaos in my life. So I've already done the floor because I keep things that are really, really heavy in totes. So this tote here holds all of my different kinds of flour and also the gluten-free flour and coconut sugar and things like that. And then, you know, dual purpose, right? So I don't use that stock pot all the time, but I don't want to just take up space. So when I'm not using it, it holds potato chips. And then we hang our bottles. And I reuse all of my grocery bags as garbage bags in my kitchen garbage. And then this little tote down here has the bag of cat food in it because our cat will chew through the bag. And then all the appliances I use on a daily or weekly basis are right here and easy for me to grab, so I don't have to go downstairs into the basement storage to get them all the time. I'm still deciding what's going here. It'll most likely just be regular daily food things like my pasta, sauce, canned goods, things like that. This was not here on this shelf. This is all of my baking stuff and some breakfast stuff and cereal. So all of my baking stuff used to be up here. And that worked when it worked because my kid was smaller. So he needed all of his snacks on this shelf so he could reach them. But now he's 6 feet tall. He can reach his snacks up here when I put them up there. And down here, I can actually see all of my baked goods, whereas up here, I absolutely couldn't. This is above my head. So now I can see all of my baked goods. It's going to make my life easier. Snacks are going to go up here, and all these things are going to be reworked. Now, as you can see, some things are in additional containers just to contain the mess so it looks a little neater. But other things are absolutely not. I don't go out and buy fancy containers or anything like that for all of my things. If I will reuse old peanut cans, I will reuse things we've gotten, or like this, I put granola bars in this because I don't want them falling through the grates and all of the holes. So that's why I do those things. And I reuse stuff because I'd rather reuse something than spend the money on getting something that I don't need, that I'm going to be constantly having to refill. This was free when we went to the movies. It was part of the deal in the package for that day when we went to see that movie. So why not reuse it every single day in the cupboard? So I will get back to you in a little bit and show you the end product. Oh, one more thing before I go. I also have to fix this disaster up here. This disaster is, yeah. So once I'm done all that, I'll give you guys come back and give you guys another look and do a little wrap up. And hopefully this new system works a little better for me than the old system. So that way my daily life can be better, more fun, because you got to have fun when you're in the kitchen. And you know, I'll just feel a little more motivated because things will be easier to grab and I'll be able to see everything. I'm also cleaning out all of the clutter and any boxes or things that aren't good anymore, or I'm getting rid of it all. So it's just going to make it so much more easy, so much more efficient. Yeah, so I'll get back to you in a little bit. So the biggest thing to remember when you're organizing anything is that you organize it for how it's going to work best for you. You're not organizing it for how somebody on Pinterest wants you to organize it. You're not organizing it how the way I organize it. You might not even do it the way your mom did it, or your dad, or your sister or brother down the road, or your best friend across the street. You're doing it for how it's going to work and be functional for you and only you, because you're the one that has to live here. You're the one that has to make this work. But I promise you, if you organize your pantry, if you organize your fridge, your freezers, so that way it works on a daily basis for the way you live, it is going to make your life so much easier, way less overwhelming, because I don't know about you, but when I look at stuff and it's absolute chaos, it makes me just want to shut the door and order takeout. So do yourself a favor, get some organizing in, but set aside a day where you're not doing anything else, or even just a few hours where you're not doing anything else, and you can take your time with it. And you can put a movie on, because that's what I did. I put a movie on my laptop, something that I'd watched before so I could hear it in the background. If that doesn't work for you, put on some music, dance, sing while you're clearing stuff out. Take your time and make it work for you, because I promise you're not going to regret it. So my counter is all nice and clean now. It's cleared off of everything. There's nothing left there except the apples that are about to turn. So before they turn, I'm going to turn them into an apple crisp. That's going to be another video. And we'll move on to the pantry in just a minute. All right, so I'm all done. It's perfect for what I need. It might not be what you would do, and that's okay. That's the biggest thing about anything like this. It's not about perfection. I am a recovering perfectionist, so I strive to not get caught up in what other people think and what other people would want me to do. And instead I focus on what would work for me. So I'm going to show you what I've done and explain a little bit of how it's finished and why it works for me. And hopefully it inspires you to do something that makes your kitchen and your life, your daily life and cooking and providing meals and things like that, that it makes it a little bit easier and maybe even a little bit more enjoyable. So here's what I've done. Okay, so you saw all of the baked goods before and how all of the baked goods were done. And you saw it down here before. So we've already done this part. Where I keep the cat food is also where, since I've done the video, my husband came home from work. So it's also where I keep all of the lunch bags, my husband's lunch bag and my son's lunch bag. And then we pan up, and beside all of the baked goods, oh, and there's my, apron thing. So beside all of the baked goods, it kind of blends in with the cereals that also get used for baking, peanut butter, some of the canned fruit that gets used for baking. And then we've got cooking and things that I use on a regular or semi-daily or even weekly basis. And the pastas, those are all regular meals or things that I add for quick meals. And then when we pan up to the next shelf, oh my goodness, I'm so thrilled about this. This is where all my baking used to be. And if you actually see, so I'm 5'4". This shelf up here is definitely way taller than me, and I couldn't see anything in the back at all. And all this stuff used to be down here. So now we've got all of the little drink mixes, the fruit, all that kind of stuff. We've got my protein bars, and then we've got all the nuts and the snacks. So nuts, we've got our crackers, and then in these bins here is the granola bars and the microwave popcorn and everything for the guys. And then we span into seasonings and large spices and add-ons and things like that. Oh, that's not supposed to be there. So we forgot one thing. So now it's all done. We've got all of our big spices and stuff here and our little add-on ingredients that don't fit in my tiny spice cupboard. That's in another part of my kitchen. And then we've just got the ready-to-eat boxed meals. You know, this kind of stuff. We've got the stovetop, all that. And it's stuff, it's easy to add a couple in, but it's stuff we use all the time, so it needs to be fast. And then I've got these little, candies that I like to eat, and they just honestly didn't fit anywhere else. And then, of course, all of our taco kits. And then we've got the cat section. So all of the cat stuff is in here nice and neatly. We've got all of his little toppers, and after I go to the store, he's got some in the fridge, don't worry, but after I go to the store, his canned soft food goes right here. And then up here, it's not that different from what it was, it's just tidied up and it's no longer super cluttered. So we've got, all of the my son's got some snacks and stuff that he likes to eat and little like treat kind of things. And they're at the backs because he doesn't eat them very often. And then we've got the potato chip section. This is like the most important section of any pantry. You must have a potato chip section. Whatever your guilty pleasure is. But potato chips, the bags are really big, so they need their own space. And then this is totally cleared up from clutter. We've got just the disposable plates. I know a lot of people don't like them, but hey, you gotta have sanity too sometimes, and that's what disposable plates are. And a couple of my other things that I don't use on a regular basis, but still use enough that they shouldn't be in the basement storage. And then we've got stuff way up at the top. All this stuff is stuff that doesn't get used on the regular, but I like to have it on hand, and I need to climb up on a chair to reach them. So they're way up high, so I don't have to worry about it. And that bag up there that says spices, that bag is where I keep the open spare spices that I use to fill my jars. And only the closed spices, if I have any, stay in the other cupboard, but the open ones stay up here so that way I can fill my little spice jars more easily. So that is what I have done to create a much more functional pantry for me. Now, this might look like complete and utter chaos to you, and that's totally fine. But it doesn't have to work for you. It has to work for me. And man, this sure does. So I encourage you to maybe find ways to make your space more functional. And yeah, it's going to work for me. So hope you're having a good day. I hope that you have some happy cooking and some happy meals in your future. And I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.